Hello there, this is Devan, your financial literacy plug. Today, where are my customers hiding? This is something that every startup has problems with. Customers. Where do you get them from when everybody has taken up everybody that exists? You see, whenever you're about to go into business, the first thing people will tell you is, whatever sector you name that people are actually making a profit in, any profitable sector you name, is highly saturated. Highly saturated. In fact, if you are looking at a business that nobody is doing, well, I guess that's what makes you an entrepreneur. But you are going to face so many challenges. Introducing this new product to people, trying to convince them about it, and so on and so forth. Not everybody has the patience for that hassle. So people will tend to go into sectors and businesses that they know are already thriving. But that also brings up the issue of where to get customers from. For instance, if you're in the hair business, why should I come to you? You just opened your shop 3 days ago, when I have this lady I've been patronizing for the last 5 years, and it's not like she is bad. So what's going to make you stand out? But let's focus on today's question, which is, where are my customers hiding? Your customers are on social media. Thank God for the advent of social media. You have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. There's so many of them right now that I cannot name all of them off the top of my head. I'm just mentioning the ones that are more popular in Nigeria. So before you ever go into business, try really hard to have a good social media presence. Get, a good following of people. You can achieve this by posting constantly, especially on trending topics. Watch your language on the platform. People are faceless there. When I say faceless, not everybody is using their face. Quite a number of people use fake names. If people rile you up too much, you can politely warn them to desist, and if they persist, you can block them. But try really hard to avoid a situation where you're exchanging insults with people, demeaning people, making them feel small and bad. You never know where you'll bump into somebody that you've had issues with on social media, and they'll be petty enough to vent it on you out in the physical. And apart from that, you do want people to patronize your business. So, sure, from time to time you can jump onto even topics that might be a bit controversial, but the way you talk to people, the way you chat with people that might respond to you is where the problem might lie. And of course, your take, how you express your views on whatever it is you're talking about. If you can help it, and you should be able to help it, that's what maturity does. Do not insult people. Do not get unduly acidic. Try. Just try. You're trying to earn customers here. So that's it. Digitally, you have people on social media that you could harvest and turn them into customers. And not just for digital products or for online shopping stuff. No, even for physical things. You can get your customers online and then get dispatch riders and couriers and so on and so forth to ship your products to wherever your customers are located in the country. Okay, so that's number one. Your customers are on social media. Number two, your customers are wherever you worship. Your customers can be found in church, they can be found at the mosque. I may not say much about the mosque because I don't really understand how that functions, forgive me. But I know that in church there are so many associations and groups and activities that you could get involved in. Getting involved in all these groups and activities means that you forge alliances with people. You come to know people. You become acquainted with people. You get on first name terms with people. And all of that can be very helpful for pushing your business forward. Now, I'm not saying that you should go to your place of worship strictly with a commercial mindset, but I am saying that if you're somebody who already has the culture of worshiping at church or at the mosque, don't just go there, worship, and leave. If you're somebody who is business minded, when you go there, you worship, try and get involved in one or two of the associations, try to make friends in the church or in the mosque, especially among your peers, and then use whatever platforms they have to make sure that you project your business accordingly. People are likely to trust you because they see you amongst them during worship and could be willing to give you a chance to patronize you. So that's very important. I know that some churches, like the old churches, the Catholic Church, for instance, they have a bulletin. You can advertise your business on the back of it, wherever on the bulletin that there's space for small adverts and promos and things like that for a very small fee. And most people buy these things as they're coming into worship. So the chances of people seeing your advert is very high. So that's another place where you can get customers, where you worship. Number 3, social clubs. These could be anything from the Rotary Club to whichever social club you belong to. Every now and then when you guys meet to socialize and whatever else it is you do, even if it is a professional gathering, this is my side hustle. This is what I do on the side. I sell beautiful wrappers. I sell Hollandaise. I'm your plug. And somebody will probably say, send me some pictures on WhatsApp. And you do that, and before you know it, you've nailed 1 or 2 deals. Somebody's child might be getting ready to wed, and you're the person who supplies the ashwebi. So these clubs and things like this are very, very important. If you're a member, don't just go there, attend the meeting and leave. Socialize, interact with people. Get to be on a first name term with as many people as you can in these social gatherings. Be pleasant, be welcoming, be kind. Just play your part. Raise your emotional quotient level to the point where people are at least willing to engage with you, even if you're ordinarily somebody who is very introverted. Point number 4, and this keys into all the other 3 points I've mentioned: your interpersonal relationships. How do you relate with your neighbors, your colleagues, and so on, even family members? Because family members are the people we take for granted the most. Our closest friends are the people we take for granted the most. How do you ordinarily relate with them? When they're doing their own thing, do you help out? Do you promote? Do you go there? When things are happening in their life, are you there to at least find out how you're faring today, what's up in your life? How are you maintaining those relationships? It matters a lot, particularly with your neighbors. Many of us who live in urban areas have formed this rather unpleasant habit of, we mind our businesses to a point where we don't know the name of our next door neighbor. We don't know what his car looks like. We don't know what the person looks like. We have no idea how many kids they have. So if we see a stranger coming out of the property, we will not know. It's not good. It's not good. Somebody might ask you that you're talking about all this, do you do it? Yes, I do it. Where I lived before we moved to where we're currently staying, I took the time off a month after we moved into our home to go around the 10 immediate houses, I think there were even more than 10, in my vicinity, to introduce myself, tell them which one is my house, tell them what I do, my husband's name. I got to know them, found out one person was a widower, found out one person was a former colleague, and where I'm currently staying now, I know at least 4 or 5 of my neighbors by name. We might not visit each other regularly, but at least I know their faces. So things like this matter, and not just for commerce, for other things too. You need to keep your interpersonal relationships alive and kicking. Associations, unions, and trade groups These could also be categorized as clubs. I've talked about them before, but these have more to do with professional unions. Like, let's say, for instance, you're a member of NUJ, NAWOJ, Keke Riders Association, Hairdressers Association, whatever it is. Any of these ones that you are inside. If you have a side hustle, whenever you're done with your meetings and you're socializing, let them know what that side hustle is, where your shop is located at, or how they can reach you, to at least have a look at what you're selling or to experience your services. So that is another place where you will find your customers hiding. Now, I've given 5 different locations where customers might be hiding. But you know the most important of them is number 6. Even if you don't have any social media presence whatsoever, you're somebody who ordinarily doesn't worship. You don't go to church, you don't go to the mosque. There are many people who are like that nowadays. You're somebody who doesn't belong to any clubs, associations, or whatever. People are introverted. Your interpersonal relationships are nothing to scream home about. You know what else could attract customers to you? Excellent service. Excellent service. Or just make certain that those goods, those products you're selling, are worth the penny that you're requesting for. Do not buy something that is substandard and try to pass it off as the original product. In fact, if you go to the market, those of them that are really smart will tell you, okay, this is not so good. It will serve you, but it's not so good. This is the better one. But it all depends on what is happening in your pocket. That way, when you buy the substandard one, at least you know the trader was honest enough to warn you. Imbibe a culture of ethics. If somebody comes to you and is treated ethically, and they get value for money, and you do what you need to do on time, and you deliver as and when due, they're likely going to tell somebody else about you, even without you asking, because they enjoyed the service, because the product turned out to be original, something they've been looking for all over the place. And don't undercharge your services. Just make sure that what you are providing is worth that which you are charging for. Don't charge people 50,000 and then give them work of 7,500. It's not good. And that is how your customers will come crawling out of wherever it is they're hiding. So these are 6 tips that I feel if you're just starting out in business, you should be aware of. These are the places where you can find your customers and drag them out. But keeping them will involve making sure that number 6 is always present throughout whatever it is, whatever business transaction you're carrying out. And that's where we end today's talk. If this content has provided you any value whatsoever, like, share, comment, subscribe, and watch again next Thursday at 7 p.m.